Good morning, all of you. I am Dr. Nalini R, serving as Associate Professor in the Department of MBA at Maharani's Women's Commerce and Management College, Mysore. Dear students, let us learn about data editing and coding in today's session, which is a part of data analysis and interpretation. Once the data collection is completed, the researcher has to analyze the data to draw meaningful conclusions about the research work he has undertaken. The data gathered from a survey represents a challenge that all business researchers face because the data collected being raw in nature, the researcher has to transform the raw data suitable for analysis. The raw data are recorded just as the respondent indicated. For an oral response, the data are in the words of the respondent. If the data has been collected using a questionnaire, the actual number checked is the number stored. The raw data collected in either of the ways, that is either orally or using a questionnaire, contains errors. So the error may be a respondent error or a non-respondent error. A respondent error is a mistake made by the respondent. A non-respondent error is a mistake made by the interviewer or by a person responsible for creating an electronic data file representing the responses. So, a researcher has to take utmost care to see that he starts his analysis after checking for the errors. So if the analysis is done with the errors, the results obtained will not be reliable and they will also not be appropriate and they will not be useful in policy making. An important part of a research work at this stage is thus checking for errors. If the error remains in the data, the process of transformation of raw data to intelligence will be made more risky and more difficult. Let us know the various stages of data analysis. You can see in this slide the various stages of data analysis: editing, coding, data file, and analysis approach. Editing and coding are the first two stages in the data analysis process. In each of the stages of editing, coding, and data file creation, error checking takes place. Once data file is ready, the analysis approach can be decided by the researcher. So let us learn about editing and coding in the forthcoming slides. What is the meaning of editing? Editing is the process of checking and adjusting data for omission, consistency, and legibility. And who does this editing? See, editing will be in the form of field editing or it may be an in-house editing. Field editing will be done by the field supervisors who are responsible for conducting the surveys, who collect the data from the respondents. So they do the daily field edits which will be useful in identifying the respondents who should be recontacted to fill the data omitted if any. So if any of the respondents have omitted any item means a question, any item, the same can be brought to their notice by the field supervisors and they can be filled again by the respondents. Sometimes the response given by the respondents in the form of writing, they may not be legible and easily understandable. So even under such situations, the field supervisors can contact the respondents again and they can get the responses filled with clarity. In the case of in-house editing, there will be a research department normally having centralized staff to perform the editing and coding functions. So the in-house editing will check the data for completeness and collect the data if it is missing. See, in some of the cases, when the data is missing or it is left blank by the respondents, they can be filled by the in-house staff. But some of the responses like the gender or age, if they are left blank, that cannot be filled out of guess by the editing staff. So under such situations, the editing staff will contact the respondents and then they will fill the same. So the field editing and in-house editing are the two ways in which editing takes place. And editing for omission can be addressed by the field supervisor or the in-house staff in the research department. And what is editing for completeness? See, sometimes the respondents might have filled the questionnaire, but they might have left one or two blanks. See, there may be item non-response. Item means a question. So there might be some questions for which the respondents might not have given their response. So an item non-response refers to an unanswered question on an otherwise completed questionnaire. Under such situations, the decision must be taken by the editor. So whoever is editing, they have to follow the editor's instructions either to leave the item blank or to insert plug value. See, it only means to replace the blank or missing values based on predetermined decision rule, like it may be an average value or neutral value. See, based on the responses given by the respondents for the other questions, so you can take the average value and place the same in the blanks. Or in the response, if you have the scale to be 3-point scale, 5-point scale, 7-point scale, the neutral value can also be used for filling the blanks. And there is yet another way of filling the missing data. It is the impute value. See, wherein using a statistical algorithm, a best guess for the missing response can be made by the editing staff based on the available information provided by the respondents for other questions. So either using an average value or a neutral value or using the impute value, the in-house staff or the field staff can edit for completeness. There will be yet another situation wherein some of the questions may be out of order. Say for example, see, in one of the open-ended questions, the respondent might have answered. But in the following questions, there may be few questions which may require the same answer to be given by the respondent, which he has already given in the open-ended question. So under such situations, in order to avoid the repetition of the question, the field supervisors might have skipped that question and such questions may be lying blank. So while editing, the editing staff must refer to the previous open-ended questions where the response have been given by the respondents, and the same can be used for filling the subsequent questions. And there is yet another type of editing to be done by the editing staff. They will come across don't know answers in the questionnaire. Some of the respondents might have answered don't know. See, in case the option allows the respondents to give a don't know answer, it is fine. But if there are too many don't know answers in a questionnaire, then it reflects the ineffective preparation of the questionnaire. It means there is a flaw in the questionnaire itself. See, when a researcher intends to seek answer for the research questions that he has set, for which there are many don't know answers given by the respondent, means the tool that is used for collecting data is not accurate. So, while framing the questionnaire itself, the researcher has to be very careful to see that the number of don't know answers that may be provided by the respondent is kept to the minimal. So even under such situations, how to edit the don't know answers rests with the editor's instructions. So while framing the questionnaire itself, if utmost care is taken, the number of don't know answers might be minimized. The next stage of data analysis is coding. See, in the case of qualitative research, the responses would have been received in the form of text. So, such responses need to be converted in a form which is suitable for analysis further. So, applying code to the responses which are in the textual form will be facilitated by coding. So, coding is an assignment of numerical scores or classifying symbols to previously edited data. So, once the data is edited, the researcher will start assigning the numerical scores or classifying symbols. So the codes represent meaning of data. So in a questionnaire on investors' perceptions towards mutual funds, you would have asked a question like whether you have invested in mutual funds. The likely responses would be yes or no. So for a person who has put a tick mark in yes, you can assign the code as Y, and for a person who has put a tick mark against no, you can assign the code as N. So thus the codes will represent the meaning of data, and they will also represent the rules for interpreting, classifying and recording data. And we also come across dummy coding, which is used by researchers in dichotomous responses. See, it is just like assigning number 1 to one category and assigning 0 to another category. See, in a questionnaire, while collecting the personal information from the respondent, you would have had an item gender. So you have the likely responses to be male or female. So you can assign 0 to a male respondent and you can assign 1 to a female respondent. So like this, you can give the codes. So depending upon the response, depending upon the number of responses that are available, you can go on increasing the numerical scores or the codes. Say for example, you have the information relating to age group of the people. So you have different age groups, less than 18, 18 to 28, 28 to 38. So like this you have categorized. So for each group you can assign a particular numerical score or a symbol. Even you would have collected data relating to annual income of the people. So you have different groups. The annual income less than 1 lakh, 1 lakh to 2 lakhs, 2 lakhs to 3 lakhs, 3 lakhs to 4 lakhs, 4 lakhs and above. So for each group you assign a numerical score or a symbol. So that is how you do the coding. So coding will simplify the data that is collected also. So it will be helpful in converting the qualitative data received or collected into a form that is suitable for further analysis. See, a researcher may come across some open-ended questions also. So how to code such open-ended questions? See, the open-ended questions will be usually exploratory in nature. The coding of responses for such question is really a task for the researcher. So the purpose of coding of such answers is to reduce the large number of individual responses to few general categories that can be assigned numerical codes. So similar answers should be placed in a general category and assigned the same codes. So when you are asking for suggestions from the respondents, similar suggestions might have been given by many. So what you can do, you can just categorize and similar responses can be given the same code. Thus, a major objective in the code building process is to accurately transfer the meanings from written responses to numeric codes. The end result of code building should be a list in an abbreviated form of all comments and thoughts given in answers to the questions. So once the coding of the entire questionnaire is ready, the researcher has to build a code list. So for each and every item, he will be having a corresponding code. So now the next stage of creating the data file. Thus, once the code list is ready, the researcher can go ahead to create the data file. So in the questionnaire, for each and every item, he would have assigned numerical scores or symbols. So the entire questionnaire is ready. So with the help of this, the researcher can create the data file. So the way a data set is stored electronically in spreadsheet-like form, in which the rows represent sampling units and the columns represent variables, is called a data file. So a data file is created electronically, and which form? Spreadsheet-like form. So where in the rows you find the respondents' scores on each variable, and each column represents a variable for which there is a value for each respondent. So a spreadsheet like Excel is an acceptable way to store a data file. Using Excel also you can create the data file, and nowadays researchers use statistical programs like SPSS, SAS, R and others to work easily with an Excel spreadsheet. See, for the sake of your learning about the creation of data file, I have just given a link. You can have a look at how the data file is created once the code is ready. Thus, editing is the process of checking and adjusting data for omission, consistency and legibility. But the editor has to consider the pitfalls in editing. See, this takes place when the editor fills in the missing values for any items. Subjectivity can enter into the editing process. That's why the data editors have to be intelligent, experienced and objective. See, their subjectivity or their opinion should not influence the response while entering the missing values. So, the editors must consider the pitfalls in editing. You are aware that coding is an assignment of numerical scores or classifying symbols to previously edited data. So while assigning codes, the researcher has to take care of the fact that there is no overlapping. That is, for many or two or more items, the same code should not be given. If there is overlapping in coding, then the analysis cannot be done properly. So once the editing and coding is taken care of, while recording data on data file also, it has to be done with utmost care, because the editing might have been done appropriately, the overlapping in coding could have been avoided, but yet while recording the data on data file, there is a possibility that the person who is entering the data can commit error. So checking for errors has to take place at this stage also. So once all these are over, that is editing, coding and creation of data file, the next stage in data analysis is analysis approach. So we will learn about the analysis approach in the next class.